This is Constantine. John Constantine. Asshole.
Hello and welcome to Rants at the Movies, a podcast where we rant about films you may have seen at house parties, and do our best to convince you that no, actually they're really good. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades Mono, and killing everyone close to her, because that's fucking true to the character, is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
Oh, you knew what you were getting into.
I did and I do. And we are 17 episodes in, so it's probably about time we did a comic book movie. And the Avengers and Justice League can take a hike because it's Hellblazer's turn as we talk 2005's Constantine.
Woo!
Yes, this is definitely probably one of our
favorite
comic book movies.
I'd
say guilty pleasure, but I don't have guilty pleasures anymore.
I have some guilty pleasure movies. This is not one of them.
Well, I don't feel guilty about finding pleasure in this movie.
No.
It's a really good fucking movie.
No.
I mean, it has its issues, but every film does.
I can overlook them, though, because this movie is stunningly beautiful.
It is.
It's a really nice reversal of how heaven and hell are normally portrayed.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah, I can see.
It's a very fresh take on it.
Yeah, no, like visually, there's some things in this film that I just will always love.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Even though it's nearly 20 years old, it still looks fantastic.
Yeah.
They paid so much attention to the small details in this film as well. Like
Stan Winston and Phil Tippett worked on it. What more can you expect?
Well, they're studios, if not the men themselves.
But their legacies are carried on in these.
Yeah, no, the creature effects in this are great. The special effects in this are great. The visual effects in this are great.
Yes.
It is just fucking excellent. It
yes.
really is. And I mean, I know it certainly at the time it got a lot of hate thrown at it.
A lot of it was gatekeeping of you can't do that to a character, you can't...
From the fan side anyway,
yeah,
it was
it's
that.
It's the atypical fan reaction because John Constantine is a much beloved character.
Yeah, the fan side of it, the criticism mainly seemed to come from the character is different, but we'll get to that later on. And then the critic side of it seemed to be down to kind of
story.
Muddy plot and not great acting. And I can see where they're coming from plot wise. But some of the acting in this is great. It's not like fucking Oscar winning or anything. But
no, but
I don't like Oscar movies, so fuck off.
Some Oscar movies I watch and I'm like, why?
Yeah, and looking at it now, there were actually quite a few favourable reviews. And I think just at the time, all the negative ones got press.
Yes.
Because it was fun to shit on Keanu Reeves in 2005. Even though,
The Matrix had been massive.
The Matrix had been massive, but everyone was like, oh yeah, he can do
be
action.
Easily replaced with a board.
Yeah, that was the joke at the time. But
especially
no, he does some damn good acting in this.
Prior to that, you'd had, like, anytime he had tried to do any sort of, like, period drama, I adore Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, but
he
the accent.
Is terrible.
The accent.
And the same with Dangerous Liaisons.
Yeah.
Brilliant film. John Malkovich and Glenn Close are just powerhouses in it. He was still very much trying to shed that Bill and Ted image.
Yeah. And
which he didn't really do successfully until about Speed or The Matrix.
Well, to be honest with you, I not really until John Wick when people went, oh, okay, hang on, no, actually.
Yeah, he does real good action, and there's some real good action in this.
But to the point of like Dangerous Liaisons and Dracula and serious films that he's in where people think, oh, he wasn't great. I mean, like Dracula, Francis Ford Coppola wouldn't have cast Keanu Reeves unless he saw something there. He might not have gotten what he saw out of him in that film, but these directors definitely saw something to cast him in these serious films,
Jonathan Harker isn't exactly a fleshed out character even within the book.
No, this is true. But I still think, you wouldn't, if the directors thought, oh, he's shit, they wouldn't have cast him.
No.
You don't cast an actor who you think is shit.
No.
So the directors obviously saw something.
Especially not when you're a director of that magnitude who gets to say. It'd be different if it was like a first time movie director who had a lot of studio interference.
Now, again, that said, this was a good role for him because it is the way Constantine is played in this is more stoic and wooden, but not in a bad way. Like,
no, he's a dick.
Yeah, he's a total dick.
He's just
a total dick. But we're doing our usual thing of going way too into detail before we even hit a summary. So I will go for a summary. John Constantine, a cult specialist and professional bastard, is just trying to kill enough demons to buy a ticket into heaven. But after the death of her sister, devout Catholic and Detective Angela enlist Constantine's help as he is drawn into an infernal conspiracy that threatens the balance between heaven and hell.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a standalone story.
Yeah.
Which works for the purposes of the film. It drops you right into the universe. They don't really explain anything that's going on. You do get a bit of it further on when he's explaining to Angie what's going on, but you learn as she learns, which is nice. There's not like a big exposition dump.
No, there's a couple, but they lead
natural.
They lead into them nicely. Like there's a lot of hints towards the balance that I mentioned in the summary, but it is literally halfway or more through the film when you actually get that explained to you.
Oh, the diner scene when he's explaining
when he's actually
experiences and what's going on. Yeah.
And even his own backstory is just hinted at until that scene as well.
Yeah.
And I like how they kind of, you're dropped into the world. This is what he's doing. This is the character, and just catch up and go along with it. And it fits because Constantine isn't exactly the type of person to be like, right, here's a catch up. Here's everything that's been going on so far so that I can get you up to speed. Constantine is just like, no, I'm doing my thing and you can either keep up with me or you can fuck off.
Yeah.
And that's Constantine.
That is very much Constantine.
And I think that was, I had never read any Hellblazer comics when I first saw this film.
No, neither was I. I was vaguely aware that it was a comic book. In the same way that I had been aware that Blade was.
I was a little bit more aware of it because I was such a Preacher fan and Garth Ennis wrote Hellblazer a lot.
Yeah.
I had kind of looked into it a little bit, but I had never really read any. So when people spoke to how bad of a portrayal of Constantine this was, I couldn't really say anything. Since watching the film, I went and I bought a whole load of Constantine comic books, and I'm like, the only thing they changed was his nationality, his hair, and his backstory.
But that's because John Constantine, the actual character, visually was based on Sting.
Yeah.
And if you're a fan of Supernatural, Castiel is very much based on John Constantine. And in fact, Supernatural itself as a show would not exist.
Were it not for Constantine.
Constantine.
Constantine, but Hellblazer comics.
The detriment of the Matt Ryan Constantine show.
Well, we've said that the only reason that the Constantine show failed on the CW was because Supernatural already existed, and loads of people just called it a Supernatural ripoff, and it was like, but no.
But Matt Ryan's Constantine is the comic book accurate.
Yeah.
I still to this day, if I ever meet Harold Perrineau, I'm just going to probably attack him and be like, "What was Manny doing?" But even though they've changed his nationality and they've changed his appearance, the essence, that core of what makes John Constantine the character and the complete and utter arsehole that he is very much there and very present.
Oh, definitely. And as to like the backstory, his backstory and the whole demon thing in the club in Liverpool with Astra and Nurgle and all that would have been way too complicated to explain.
So complicated, even just to try and read a summary of it.
Well, I mean, even in
there's a lot of history there. It's like anything else. The difference is we know Batman's backstory, we know Superman's backstory, we know the backstories of a lot of the big heroes.
Well, also
they're ingrained in pop culture.
But not even that.
You can kind of tweak, or not even tweak, just simplify it.
But see, like with Superman and Batman, any of them, it's like Superman's backstory: last son of Krypton, sent to Earth from an abandoned planet, becomes defender of Earth. 2 sentences. Batman sees his parents gunned down in
becomes defender
cold
of
blood.
Gotham.
Yeah, becomes defender of Gotham. Spider-Man gets bitten
Uncle
by a
Ben!
radioactive spider. Yeah, decides to use his powers for good. Constantine plays around with black magic to try and impress some of his punk friends, takes it too far in an underground nightclub where a guy who runs it is actually into black magic, abuses his daughter. Constantine summons a demon to show how hot shit he is. The demon wrecks the place and takes the daughter back to hell, and then sets about ruining the rest of all their lives through Constantine's actions over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Can't really fit into a 2-hour story neatly.
No, it's a wee bit convoluted, and then you're starting to get into Nurgle and Princes of Hell and opening up the likes of Etrigan and all of that kind of fish.
So for the purposes of this film, right, we're not going into any of the extended mad hell stuff. It's basically just going to be heaven, hell, Satan, his son, and blah demons that don't get names.
Yeah.
And Constantine's backstory is he was able to see this shit.
It fucked him up.
Yeah, it fucked him up.
As
yeah,
it would.
He attempted suicide, realised it was all real because he went to hell and comes back and now sets about trying to get himself into heaven by killing demons. Okay, it's still not the 2 sentences of Batman or Superman, but it's a lot quicker and a lot easier to show in a film.
And especially in the diner sequence when he is giving his backstory to Angela, he's the one telling the story, so he's the one controlling how much of the narrative to tell her, and he doesn't really need her on his side at this point, but he's still kind of cherry picking how much information he gives her.
Yeah,
it is a very simplified version of it. He's like, yeah.
As to the nationality change,
doesn't bother me.
It doesn't particularly bother me. I can understand, like, it was a producer's call. They said, no, we don't want him to be English. We want him to be American. And if you're going to make him American, you can't have him be the smart-talking, sarcastic...
It doesn't work.
English person that he is. So we've always said that he is basically John Constantine from the comics. He's just American. As in, he grew up in America and he has American attitudes to things, and his dickishness comes off as an American dickishness as opposed to a British dickishness.
Yes.
And other than that, he is the character as far as I'm concerned.
He is. He's very, they boiled down the essence, and like most of the movies we cover, we own a special edition DVD of it with a back ton of behind the scenes, and one of the special features actually on it is with the script writers, the director, Eric Lebitz, who was president of DC? Or VP?
He was president of DC at one point, but you got his name wrong and I can't remember his correct name.
It is Lebitz, though.
I think so.
Yeah. And obviously from their standpoint, they were like, oh, you're making him American? The people who produced the comic books, they were like, oh, but then they got on board with it and were like, oh, okay, he's still the same character. That's where we're going with this.
Yeah, they basically said
Alan
what we were
Moore,
saying.
In traditional Alan Moore fashion, has taken his name off all of it.
Well, his name was never on it to begin with.
No.
But that's Alan Moore. Alan Moore doesn't like Alan Moore comic books being made into films, and that's fair enough. It's his prerogative.
But at least his what would be his portion of the royalties does go to whoever he collaborated with on the original.
Yeah, the inkers always get the credit. So I was like, that was the same with Watchmen, and it came up as based on the characters from Dave Gibbons, not Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons.
No, and it's nice to see that even though he doesn't want anything to do with it, he's not going to prevent anybody else from profiting off their own work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because God knows there are ones that would.
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily within the comic book industry, but there are people who are like, I don't want any of this, and nobody else is having it either.
Yeah, or equally there would be ones who'd be happy to say, you're not putting my name on the screen, but you still have to pay me for using the rights and the likenesses. So yeah, no, I mean that's fine. Like, and I don't think Alan Moore would have liked this one any more than he would have liked any of the rest of them. But Alan Moore doesn't like anything.
Hey, Alan Moore, which one of the Watchmen babies is your favourite? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't come over from Essex and hurt me. I'm sorry. I love you.
No, Alan Moore's great. He's fine.
He's brilliant. He's a wizard. I love him.
And in fairness, that bit that you just quoted, he was in that episode of The Simpsons.
Singing I love Lulu.
Yep. But yeah, so that's Constantine pretty well covered in a character. Like he is the comics character as far as I'm concerned.
And I enjoy Keanu Reeves. I enjoy Keanu Reeves anyway. I always have. I love My Own Private Idaho. This is the type of character I like to watch him play as well.
Yeah.
The quieter one. Obviously from the John Wick films and all that, we all know that his martial arts prowess has just developed.
Yeah.
This isn't so much kicky fighty as more pointy shooty.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not an action film.
No, and it's no way like none of the action sequences are polished. They're all very like messy.
Yeah, definitely.
Which also is very Constantine. He might get the job done. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of collateral damage.
Definitely.
And that does happen a lot in this as well.
Collateral damage? Oh yeah. And speaking of, shall we discuss some of the other characters?
Yes.
Some who become collateral damage and some who don't. And in fairness, actually, more probably survive in this film than should.
There's not as high a body count of his companions.
Well, he has
other stories.
He has 4 established companions in this film, and then Angela.
Yeah.
And 3 of the established companions die.
Yeah.
And the only one who doesn't...
Spoiler.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's fine. The only one who doesn't is Papa Midnight. And
Yeah.
if they had killed Papa Midnight...
Can you kill Papa Midnight?
Well, you could try. You could try.
It
But
wouldn't end well for you. The only thing I wish Papa Midnight had had at any point in the club was a big ass fucking snake.
yeah.
I feel like he's very kind of voodoo.
Well, he is. In the comics, he's far more of a voodoo witch doctor.
He should have a big ass snake.
But
That's just for me though. I just wanted him to have a big ass, and it's there and it's doing its thing, and for there to have maybe been a bit of an moment.
I don't think Jimon Hansu needed any extra props.
No, I love
Because
Jimon.
he's fucking brilliant
I love
as this,
Jimon Hansu as
in
well.
this. Like Papa Midnight, again, he is changed from the comics, but like...
It's still that character. He's still authoritative and terrifying.
Well, also, I think it's important to remember that this was 2005. So we
He
had...
wasn't very well established at that point either, I don't think.
Well, no, but
it's always been kind of not bit roles, but supporting roles.
Yeah, but no, I don't mean to the character or to the actor, I mean to the characters. Back in 2005, we had a couple of X-Men films, a couple of Spider-Man films. Batman Begins had just come out.
Yeah.
And even Batman Begins, we still weren't getting like super mad comics accurate characters and portrayals. Like
Rachel Gill.
Yeah, like we're getting now with all the MCU. But the MCU developed this whole massive big thing, and fan service is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Back then, it was a balancing act of, okay, yeah, we're making a comic book movie, but we are making a movie. We can't just keep every single aspect of the character just to keep some fat, sweaty nerds happy. Like they were trying to make a movie and they were trying to make it profitable. So, like back then, that's what you got a lot of the time was your fan service was, okay, here's a character that has the same name as a character from the comics and some similar attributes. They're not going to be exactly the same because that's not what we're fucking doing here.
No, but there's a lot of stuff that's coming out now where I think The Walking Dead would probably be one of the most recent instances that I can think of where they did take the characters and for the first season it did kind of follow and then it just took a left turn.
Then it kind of became its own thing and just used and
developed the characters, and even within the boys the characters have developed beyond what they are in the comic books.
Yeah, but they're focusing in those, they are nearly focusing more on the characters to be true to the comics rather than the events that happen in the comics.
Yeah.
Whereas back then it was more, we'll adapt kind of from storylines and just cherry pick characters that we want, and they, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was
so like
more that way.
It wasn't about that back then. So like that's why we get Shia LaBeouf as Chaz. As the long suffering young apprentice as opposed to
his
the long term best mate and
Yeah.
confidant. But again, that's fine because this Constantine doesn't have any long term confidants. He has.
I think they're all dead.
Well, yeah, that's why they don't last long enough, and he only keeps people around him that are useful to him.
Beeman, is his essentially. He supplies him with all his little
His
gadgets. His Q. Yeah, sorry, M's the head of it.
Yeah.
Supplies him with all his little gadgets and things like that, and
knows the lore.
he's his researcher, gadget finder.
Yeah, and then Hennessy
Poor Father
is
Hennessy.
almost like his tracker or something.
He's the psychic who sniffs out all his cases.
Yeah, he'll sniff out the cases. Beeman will tell him what he needs to do to solve the case, and then John goes and solves the case.
Yeah.
And they're like this little trio, and then Chaz is just kind of tagging along as driver.
Yeah.
And I don't mind Shia LaBeouf in this film.
No,
like he was mostly kind of, this was what he was doing a lot of at the time, was comedy relief sidekick kind of stuff.
Yeah, this was pre-Transformers.
But I don't mind him in this. Like, he's got a few good lines.
Yeah.
He gets a laugh out of me once or twice.
Yeah, this was kind of in the middle of his transition out of Disney Channel as well, where because he'd been in Even Stevens, he'd done Holes, and then he started to go into kind of proper films before he also took a very sharp left turn
into insanity.
Yeah,
for all those who complained about Shia LaBeouf in this film as Chaz, would you rather Shia LaBeouf now or Shia LaBeouf from then as Chaz?
Yeah. To be honest, he's not even in the film that
well,
much.
No,
you kind of forget about him halfway through. You forgot to write him down.
Yeah, he's in the start of the film, and then he's missing for a good hour, and then he reappears for the last half hour. And when we were rewatching it for our kind of note taking, just before he comes back in, I was like, oh yeah, I'll write down the fact that he's here, and then he's gone, and then he's here again. And I realised I hadn't even written his fucking character name down in my list of characters. But yeah, that's jazz. Beeman is, as you said, he's quite fun as the Q, as the knowledge guy,
He's
the
very
lore guy.
sweet. He's very shy, like not shy, but you get the
He's
feeling
nervous and ticky almost.
That he'd be very easily taken in by people. You get the feeling that he may have originally, if you look at the characters from the comic books, he was probably there back in the day. Had been John was like the cool guy, and he's the Millhouse.
There's a character like that in the comics, and I can't remember his name.
Yeah, because a few of them are amalgamations of.
He's like a young one who, the sun shines out of Constantine's arse, and he'll do whatever Constantine says, and Constantine just uses him because he knows he can. No, Millhouse is a fucking brilliant, but. Yeah, it's almost like that.
He's the one who's gone off then and does all the research and looks up all the stuff to be like, oh, I can do this. And he's like, if I'm useful, he'll keep me around.
Yeah, it's almost like John did something with him back in the past that was a step too far and feels bad for it. So he's like, right, I gotta protect Beeman.
After him a bit.
And Beeman's like, well, if John's looking after me.
The little thing that just makes him say, basically, I'm Beeman as well. You give me something like that, I'm entertained.
Well, it's also one of the only bits of kind of affection he shows to anybody.
Yes.
Is he gives Beeman a gift.
Yeah. Beeman gives him some mad shit, like a massive carton of cigarettes and the dragon's breath and the screecher. And he gets a thing that goes, which reminded me of Invader Zim when he was stealing all the organs and replacing them with stuff.
Yeah, but and Beeman's so happy with it, and I get the impression that it is like John's protecting Beeman for something probably John did, and Beeman's just decided, well, if he's protecting me, I may as well make myself useful in the same way that kind of later on.
Well, he lives upstairs.
But in the same way that later on, Chad says, "What's the use on sitting on the bench if you're not ready to play?"
Yes.
And yeah, he does seem to have a particular, like the second he thinks Beeman's in trouble, he's straight back there. Whereas he actively puts Hennessy in trouble.
Yes,
and then when Hennessy dies, the first thing he says is, "You stupid son of a bitch, why didn't you call me?" And it's like, no, John, this is your fault, not his.
You
did this to him.
Yeah, no, he is
Asked
very,
him to
very
do this.
protective of Beeman, which is nice. Like, Beeman does need somebody to look out for him.
That's the impression you get. Well, certainly that I got anyway. He's really, really intelligent, really smart, but maybe doesn't have
he was that weird nerdy kid in school.
He doesn't have
who was into mad shit.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the street smarts to run in the same occult circles that John does.
No.
But yeah, that's Beeman's fun. Beeman is really, really fun.
No, I don't think it's that he doesn't have the street smarts. He doesn't have the balls. Like,
I'd
he's
say a bit
not,
of both.
He's not brashy and bold like the way Constantine would square up to demons and actively taunt them.
Well,
he doesn't have that, but he has the knowledge.
But when John asks him about the dragon's breath, and he's like, "I thought you couldn't get it anymore," and he really sheepishly says, "I know a guy who knows a guy," as if it's an illegal drug he's talking about. But this is occult weaponry. Surely it's all illegal. It doesn't matter. There's not different levels, you know? And then Hennessy is that bit more of where Beeman is kind of fun. Hennessy's that bit more of a tragic character.
Father Hennessy, I don't know what it is about Father Hennessy. From the very first moment when you see him, where he's peeking around that pillar, and he's like, I found you one, John. There's something about it. He's so nervous, and he's like, I couldn't do it myself, I had to call you. And
I tried,
you know, I've done everything I can possibly try, and I can't fix this, and I need to call you. And it's almost like shame that he can't do it. Yeah,
because it's like, well, he's a priest and he has these special powers.
Yes.
And he still couldn't, and he has to go to...
He can hear things. There's that brilliant sequence when he's searching
through the papers.
And he's just listening. You can hear all these voices, and then he gets the one that says Isabel.
Yeah, he seems to be like some sort of contact psychic.
Yeah, he's
or
like
something.
A conduit.
And yeah, he drinks to keep the voices at bay, and he's got this protective necklace.
Got a Triskel.
And John takes it off him and is like, just listen to the ether for a few days, you'll be fine.
It's and even though he takes it off him, he doesn't take it away from me. He puts it in his coat pocket.
Well, I think that is supposed to be so, because then when he does find him later on, he finds it in the pocket, and he's like, you know, why didn't you call me again?
Why didn't you
put it on? I think that's it. John's like, right, I want you to do this thing, and it is dangerous, but I'm not going to take your lifeline away from you.
Yeah.
But Hennessy knows what Constantine is like. Constantine needs the answer.
Yeah.
He knows what he's like, so he's like, well, I can't go back to him until I have the answer, and I can't put this thing back on until I have the answer, and goes so far to John that he ends up getting himself killed.
Especially after the opening exorcism, when you're introduced to all of this.
Yeah.
Is quite unusual. The actual opening of the film is completely out of left field. It is, if you sat down in the cinema to watch this, the first thing you're expecting to see isn't a swastika.
No. Yeah, no, I'll grant you. It's definitely not what you would expect to see.
And then when it moves into then this first exorcism sequence, which is set up so well, of the immigrant family, and the mother goes in with the tea and the daughter's up in the corner
on the ceiling,
and it's so creepy, and she's shouting in her Tailong. And this is then when you get Father Hennessy going, I tried to pull it out and I couldn't.
Yeah, it cuts then to John walking in
and he's so fucking cocky, and he puts the cigarette down and he's holding all the various symbols up to the window to get the shadow, which I love. It's an exorcism scene in full daylight.
Yeah.
When he's taunting this demon, and it's like, it's Constantine. John Constantine.
Asshole.
Yeah, the ego.
And it is
on him.
And I was saying that when we were watching it, because it cuts then to Chaz being outside just before he's told to move the car, and Chaz is looking in the rearview mirror, and he's like, what? No, this is Chaz Kramer, asshole. And you're like, yeah, you know what, that is a really fucking cheesy thing to say, but somehow when Constantine says it, it still sounds cool.
Yeah, well, Constantine has background there to back it up. He said he has been killing demons for a long time, or half-breeds or whatever. Yeah. And it backs it up. But Hennessy's in the corner watching him, so nervous.
Yeah, he spends that entire scene nervous, and the only time he kind of does anything with, not confidence, but like is when John is like, you pull that fucking mirror right now. When John directly gives him an order, he's like, yep, fine, reefs it.
And you feel like he was somebody that John came across and has lured
in. Yeah.
I wouldn't say roped, I'm going to go with lured.
Yeah, lured in, and that's why he's kind of a hopeless alcoholic now.
Me. I can use you. I'm going to keep you close to me.
And then, apart from his three kind of buddies, you've got our main female character of Angela,
played by Rachel Weisz, and
she does a pretty damn good job in this. There's a couple of scenes where I really, really like her, and other than that, I'm not massively hot on the character. She could have used maybe a little bit more development, but
some parts of it, she's supposed to be a devout Catholic. Yeah. But there's times when she's questioning, oh, you believe in the devil, and it's like,
she says she doesn't believe in the devil. It's
like,
what fucking
Catholic
are you?
So you kind of gotta believe in the other one. Like it's kind of a principle.
And then later on, she's like,
religion that you need to justify one, the other one has to exist.
And then later on, when Constantine mentions the Spear of Destiny, she's like, I'm a Catholic. I know the crucifixion story. It's like, that's not in the crucifixion story, lady. But she's not terrible. They didn't give her a huge amount to work with beyond dead sister. Yeah. You know, really good cop who has this suppressed thing going on.
They could have given her a massive crisis of faith in the middle of it all, after the bathtub and all of that, when she's going, I could always see. I would have liked to have seen her. The whole thing in this is her twin sister has killed herself. And this is all part of a greater plot. And her twin was like Constantine, an extremely powerful psychic, could see things. And so could she, but she suppressed it. And she's carried that guilt with her. Well, she's even
suppressed that guilt as well.
Yeah, that's always there. So I'd like to have seen after the bathtub, when he kind of shows her everything. He's like, well, you wanted the crash course, and that happened.
Yeah, because she's literally...
I would have liked to have seen, after she finds the coin, of her to have had a quiet moment of just complete and utter devastation for everything that she suppressed.
Or even
everything that she put her sister
even just
through.
Before she goes to find the coin. Now, I do like the fact that she kind of snaps out of it and immediately goes to find the coin. It does show
she is very much in almost like a trance state. Yeah. So I would have liked to have seen something, maybe a quiet moment before they go off to get Balthazar, where she had just had this reflection.
But yeah, she's a devout Catholic who doesn't believe in the devil, who has just been shown hell. Yeah. And seen her sister there. you would think that when she came back, she probably would have a crisis of faith.
Yeah.
Because she's been struggling with the fact that her sister couldn't get a Catholic funeral and a Catholic burial. So she's been struggling with the fact
Can I just point out that would never happen here?
Well, it doesn't happen anymore anyway.
Yeah.
It's technically still a mortal sin, but no priest in their right mind is going to say, no, you can't have a funeral. No, you
unless
can't
they're
be
an
buried.
absolute bigoted asshole.
But yeah, she should, like, that's her whole thing is, you know, she thinks that no, my sister deserves to be in heaven, my sister deserves a funeral. She's just gotten proof that no, God, the God you love, sent your sister to hell.
Yes.
She should have a crisis of faith.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, she would be, to me, she would be one of the weaker characters in this, but I don't hate her.
No, she's a plot device vehicle.
Yeah, well, she's a little bit more than that. She has a little bit more than that. But yeah, she is. She is what drives the plot the whole way through. Like, and I do like at the start when we first see Isabel. You don't know it's her sister. You think it could just be a dream because she goes to bed.
Yeah. And
then wakes up in a hospital bed, runs up the stairs and jumps off the building, and then wakes up again.
That shot of her, the jump backwards off that roof, and it's shot from the bottom of the pool up through the water, through the glass. And you see her fall and hit the glass, and you start to see the glass hitting the water, and then you see her hitting the water. What I
really like as well is you can see the cross on the front of Ravenscar Hospital,
and she's in a cross.
She's in the cross pose as well, and it almost looks as if she is
a cross.
It almost looks as if she is descended from the cross and falling off it and going down.
It is the fall.
Yeah, it's just these are the little visual things in this film that one of many that I really, really love.
Yeah.
But then apart from Angela, and well, those would have been mostly the goodies, and then Papa Midnight, who's just so fucking cool. He's not really a goodie. He's supposed to be neutral. That's his whole thing. He maintains the balance in his kick-ass fucking goth club.
In his pimp outfit.
Yeah.
And his big old warehouse of goodies out the back.
Oh, yeah. And then you've got Gabriel, played by the excellent Tilda Swinton.
Yes.
Who plays Gabriel magnificently.
I love Tilda Swinton as Gabriel because Tilda Swinton does androgyny so well.
Oh, she does. She does it fantastically.
And, you know, the first time you see her, she's in a very sharp men's tailored suit. And then, you know, she flips between the two styles, but it's still only the slightly longer hair that would give you the femininity of it, which works for an angel, I think, really, really well.
And I like that. Okay, obviously she does end up being one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
But I like that when in her first introduction to her,
she's still an asshole.
Yeah, she's an angel, but she's a standoffish asshole, and she has this like righteousness, and I don't mean that in a good way.
No.
It's that fucking holier than thou righteousness, that assured I am right and you are wrong, and you know what I mean? When she's talking to him about it,
it's a bitterness as well. It's that underlying current of why are you God's beloved when all we do is serve him and love him and do what you want, and you, because of your pesky free will, which becomes an issue later on, turns away from him. Yeah,
but in that first scene you only get a hint of it. Yeah. It's an undercurrent that's maybe starting to bubble up, but I do like how she that whole scene, she's basically taking pleasure in John's.
Oh, totally.
You know, he's like, why, what did I do wrong? And I fucking killed all these demons and this, that and the other. And she's like, yeah, but you only ever did it for you, John.
Yeah. And he's like, you're dying because you smoke 30 cigarettes a day.
That's since a brilliant
you were 15. Bit. And you're going to hell because you're a suicide.
No, she doesn't say that.
Oh, no, you're going to hell for the life you took.
You're fucked. And yeah,
and there's such pleasure. Like, it's almost like an orgasmic pleasure in the tone of her voice when she says you're fucked.
Because he's had his little rant and he's like sat down kind of defeated at the end of his rant, and she hunkers right down to him and she says these first two things that are a matter of fact, but she says them in a real comforting tone of voice, and then like follows it up with...
She's trying to soothe a child.
Yeah, oh yeah, but then follows it up with "you're fucked." Yes. and it's so well done. And in fact, in the making of one of the heads of DC said, he goes, that moment in the comic, that moment in the film, that sums up Vertigo Comics. Yes. That is Vertigo Comics, is what he said. And yeah, they're dead right on that.
They are. And it sets the tone as well for what sort of assistance you can expect from the angels.
Yeah. Fucking nothing.
Yeah. I also want to applaud them for not giving her white wings.
Yes, definitely.
because they're slightly grey and smoky,
Mm.
which I did also appreciate, and also the lovely little touch of the glowing irises.
Mm. And because
The half breeds all having the irises, it just when they move into the light in certain ways, it catches, and it's just such a nice detail.
I really like how heaven is never really painted in a particularly positive light.
No, it seems to be very strict.
Yeah, it's strict and it's bureaucratic and it's got all this red tape and rules and regulations, and literally the only reason that John wants to go there is because if it's not there, it's hell.
And
it's not that he wants to go to heaven for eternal reward.
It's the cliche of a cop being sent to prison with when he's put half of them in there.
So it's almost like he views going to heaven as the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Because he really didn't have much respect for God.
No.
And nor should he if he's gone and made a bet with the devil for the souls of all mankind.
Oh, in fairness, God and the devil have made bets over the years. Just go read Job.
Oh, yeah.
Bastard. Poor Job.
And then our only other kind of, not even a main character, but character is Balthazar, who's kind of henchman number one for the bad side.
Yeah, played by Gavin Rossdale.
Gavin Rossdale of Bush.
Looking extremely smarmy. He's got that real slick back 80s business guy. Like, he's a shark. You a shark? I'm a shark. Like, he wouldn't be out of place in American Psycho.
No, I don't think he has crippling bonitis though.
No, he does not have. No, but he does have a serious case of melty face.
Yeah, but he does. He's just a greasy.
He's got the slick back hair, the pinstripe suit with like the cufflinks, and he's just. Yeah, he's that smarmy 80s, does coke off a hooker and then stiffs her the money kind of guy.
He's only in a couple of scenes where he talks, but I do like the scene when he comes in for the meeting with Papa Midnight. And he's like, oh, John, I hear you're, coming to see us soon.
Oh, he's just, everybody in this is a dick.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, they're all assholes. They all hate each other. They're constrained by their environment and these rules.
Anybody who's not an asshole and is good gets killed.
Yeah. No, but they're all constrained by their environments and the rules, and there's these almost like unspoken rules of engagement that they have to weigh. Like, the demons can't go around willy-nilly picking off people.
No, they're only allowed influence.
The angels can't really go around
saving people either.
Yeah. And when they do, John's there to fuck them up, except for the ones that he just takes a dislike to anyway. But they're all kind of playing within their boundaries, but they are testing them.
But yeah, and
they can taunt each other, and
that's another kind of impression that you get is like, okay, so there's this balance, and angels and demons aren't allowed to directly do anything; they can only influence people. But nobody says that when they break the rules, they have to go back to heaven or hell. John's just decided himself because he has a vendetta. Yeah, well, if they've broken the rules, surely they're not allowed to play the game anymore, so I'm going to send them back to hell. And it's like both sides are just kind of like, yeah, okay, well, let him be the kind of referee.
Well, he's human, so they can't realistically, like, no matter what he does, he had sealed his fate when he committed suicide. So anything he does kind of between now and then... And also, it's never going to undo that original offence.
Oh yeah, that's one of the main cruxes of the plot.
Yeah.
Is that, but also they kind of can't do anything because the rules of their balance state that they can't directly do anything to humans. So he's a human; he can run around killing demons and angels if he wants, and technically they can't do anything.
No.
And yeah, no, I like that there's elements of...
There's a tension there as well that exists within the world, and you see it in Midnight's Club to a certain extent. Like, they're not mixed. You can see it with Father Hennessy in the liquor store.
Yeah.
The tension there. Even at the end, when in the end sequence, Gabriel and Lucifer, having been brothers, would have been of the same power level. Yeah. But Gabriel is still afraid of Lucifer.
I don't know if Gabriel in this is supposed to be Gabriel the Archangel.
Gabriel in this is a half-breed.
Yeah, it's Gabriel the half-breed rather than Gabriel the Archangel.
Yeah.
But yeah, that pretty well covers all the important characters in it anyway.
Yeah.
Except for Lucifer, but we'll save him for a bit later. But yeah, no, moving on from characters, because we've just spent a good 40 minutes talking about it. The visuals in this film are fucking amazing.
Yeah. First, right off the bat, exorcism sequence in broad daylight is lovely to see.
One of my favourite bits in that exorcism sequence is when he has the mirror above and he's got the girl's eyes covered.
She just the whatever way they've done her face makeup and everything like that. She's kind of got a green cast. She does look like, you know, that sheen on ham. And a couple, when they're all possessed, they all get that like greeny oil slick sheen to them.
Yeah.
And then with the veins coming in and climbing up, and you see that then mirrored later on, but it's coming up the neck and up and around the temples and coming in towards the eyes. And it just, then you've got the horrible stringy hair, but it's not as far gone as Blair in The Exorcist.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of almost caricature. This is obviously, this looks like an infection.
Yeah, it's very, and there's, any time anybody's possessed, it does look kind of like an infection, and then later on with Lucifer there's an element of that as well. Yeah. But it's much more pronounced.
But it is. It does seem to look, when the exorcism, when they finish it and you can see it receding out of her. Yeah. It looks like an infection spreading through the person, which is very, very interesting. It's a nice take on it as well, as opposed to it just being like somebody who can see things, or somebody who is, again, spinning head, pea soup.
Yeah, they're not just controlling you like a puppet, they are infecting you. Yeah. But no, I really love the mirror bit in that scene when he's covering the girl's eyes and he lets the hand off the eyes, and in the mirror you can see the demon. So you can see John on top of the woman, and you can see their reflection in the mirror, and it crawls over John's shoulder, and then tries in the reflection and tries to attack the front of the mirror, and it's so beautifully done.
And you hear the thunk of it going into the
on
mirror.
the inside of the mirror, and then the girl, who's still possessed at this point because the demon's just confused as to what's going on.
But she's smiling at
she's looking up at the vision of the demon.
Puppy, and she's almost purring.
Yeah, so she's looking at it and it's like, oh, that's what I look like.
But it's like that kind of hello.
And it's
you know, like when you do it like to glass, if there's kittens or something like that, and you're going, and it is almost like a demonic baby talk. Yeah. And everybody has to cover their eyes in that so they don't see, except for that one poor bastard who gets a glimpse, and he goes running off screaming, and he's like slapping his head and his hair goes white.
And then even to the point where when the mirror gets flung out and you can see the demon's arm
pounding on it and
to get one arm out. Yeah. But the girl she's not
cured until the mirror smashes.
Yeah, the mirror smashes, the demon is sent back to hell, and then you see all that stuff recede. But yeah, just that mirror shot where it climbs over Constantine in the mirror, but not in the real world. It's so fucking beautifully done.
It's a really good way of showing the fact that these two worlds, or these three worlds or dimensions, or whatever, however you want to describe them as, all exist together in the same layer. It's just being able to see them.
Yeah, and John even talks about that when he's giving Angela his kind of exposition up later on. He talks about, I saw both the worlds, and then us crammed, smashed in the middle.
And it's this bleed through, so that they all three universes look the same, but they're just lying almost on different parts of the colour spectrum. Yeah. So Earth is our world is visible light, heaven is infrared, and hell is ultraviolet, for lack of a better term. And then through reflection and things like that is where you see them interacting.
But there's so many just really pretty shots and really well staged shots. I love Isabel's suicide. That it visually is pretty, but the way they construct it.
When she's watching the tape back.
Yeah, so when you first see Isabel commit suicide, she's up on the roof. She takes off her ID band. Bracelet. It whips around in the wind, and she turns over her shoulder to look at it.
To watch it go. And then she spins. No, she doesn't. She just...
she turns and
she just turns and falls.
And then when Angela's watching it, she's looking at her doing it and is kind of half falling asleep. And Isabel in the tape looks over her shoulder and whispers, Constantine. And that catches Angela's attention, and she looks up and she rewinds it and she watches it again. And you see
her in the tape say Constantine.
Oh, you see her say Constantine, and then when Angela watches it the second time, you just see her look over the shoulder.
And in the first when you see it happen at the start as well, she doesn't say anything.
No, she says nothing. But then when Constantine goes to see her in hell...
he's like, the best thing we could do, because Angie's convinced that her sister didn't commit suicide. So Constantine's like, right,
we'll go and see if she's there.
We'll go see if she's in hell. And she gets the basin of water, and he gets the cat. The cat's called Duck. Yeah. Brilliant. Beautiful cat, and yeah, I'm fully on board with that whole cats being in and out. They're half in there anyway. We have 6 cats. They look at shit, they scream at shit. I'm really convinced one of them has invited demons into the house.
But yeah, when Constantine goes to find her in hell, as he's getting near to her, she turns around and looks at him and says Constantine, and then lets go of the bracelet. It whips around and goes past her, and she looks back the second time.
Yeah.
So what Angela was watching on the camera, or on the video playback, was actually what Isabel was doing in hell.
There's a
when
lot
Constantine is actually there, and there's a lot of time gets fucky.
Yeah.
When you're in
There's
hell.
a lot of time dilation going on.
But I like that it's not just that time gets fucky when you're in hell, and then a day can seem like an entire lifetime or anything like that.
Repeat or have no structure. It's fluid.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's not just that it takes longer or anything like that. It's that it's fluid. It's that this thing that hasn't happened to Constantine yet
is going to happen.
It
will have
Angela
happened in the future past.
Yeah, but that's what Angela's seeing on the camera, and yeah, it's a little. I really like it. I really fucking like it. It's not so much a visual thing, but
they also show the fact that time doesn't have the same flow really, really well. With the first sequence where he goes to look for her in hell, and he's sitting there with his feet in the pan of water, and it's boiling, and she leaves the apartment, and everything slows all the way down, and as the door clicks closed.
Yeah.
You get this whole hell sequence, but in real time, she literally closes the door and then hears him say Angela.
Yeah.
And when she opens it again,
away.
And he's all steaming, and the cat boots it out of the room, because the cat's like, fuck that shit, I ain't coming back. And he's there with her medical band.
Yeah. No.
And then again, later on, when he's
bathtub.
showing Angela, and it's the drop with the one drop of water slowing down, and there's a split second where it stops entirely and it's suspended before everything goes back to full speed, normal speed.
Yeah.
And she explodes out of the bath and is all steamy and is like, oh my god, it was real. I knew it was all real. I saw it all. And it's just those little touches.
Yeah. And the implication is it's not that
time stands still
or anything like that. It's just that you only need to get into hell that way with the water and the half in
water's
half out
a universal lubricant.
Yeah, to do that, all that needs to happen is for a split second, time has to stop to allow you to go there and to come back. But the amount of time that passes for you in hell has absolutely no bearing on how long time has stopped for in the real world. And I really like that. I think I mentioned it before. One of the only other things...
He does say that when he's giving his backstory. He said officially he was dead for 4 minutes.
Yeah, but time
4
doesn't
minutes
matter.
in hell is a lifetime.
But yeah, you often hear that kind of... Like Supernatural does it, where it's like, oh, a day in real world is however long in hell. You always hear that, but
hell doesn't measure time in dog years.
But yeah, but it's nearly always a ratio.
Yeah.
As opposed to time just works fucky, which is what you get in this. And I think the other, I have mentioned it before, is in Salem. In the end of Salem, when Cotton Mather goes to hell, a few episodes or a season previous, his dad gets summoned as a ghost from hell, and his dad says, Cotton, I saw you in hell.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know how you will do something that will bring you to hell, and I saw it already.
Yeah, time in hell seems to... And I like that idea that hell is this...
It's
eternal, fluxing...
Yeah, time never
everything
moves,
that
but
will happen
moves.
has happened, and there's glimpses, and it's coming in and out, and maybe it's to do with the choices you make, that every time you make a choice, something in hell changes or something in heaven changes,
but
and
I
it's
think
all to do with these individual things. You could go into tons.
Oh, I know, but I think Increase Mather even says that in the show too, Cotton. He's like, I saw you. He's like, the second I arrived in hell, I saw you there.
Yeah.
So it's like you were already there when I was there, and then at the very end, when Cotton Mather does intentionally go to hell, he walks through into hell, and you can see Increase there already.
Yeah.
And I really like that, because that
I forgot that Increase was Stephen Lang, and now I'm going to rewatch that.
But yeah, I like when hell shouldn't be easy to explain.
No.
And saying things like, oh, one day in the real world is a lifetime in hell is easy to explain.
Hell in this is such
beautiful,
an original design.
I love it. And I immediately got what they meant.
And for me in particular, having coming from a theological background, I spend a lot of time looking at hell, but also being very interested in the occult side of theology and mythologies.
Yeah.
Hell is something I spend a lot of time looking at. And to see something that's not depicted as, you've got your traditional fiery cavern of brimstone and little red devils with pitchforks stabbing people in the butt. You've got the underworld depictions, which, you know, there's different areas for different things where it's not necessarily a hell.
And the
it's
Field of Reeds and
the difference between the underworld and that. This is very much in the Roman Catholicism vein of hell is where you go when you're bad. Again, it's moving away then from the Dante's Inferno model, which is the 9 rings.
Yeah.
This is is an actual hellscape.
Yeah.
It's very Dali-esque as well.
Yeah, there's elements of Bosch.
There's a lot of Hieronymus Bosch going on, especially in the underlayer.
Oh, I love that bit.
That would also depict a lot of, say, the Marquis de Sade. Like, there's stuff going on there. You've got stuff that they've picked up from other painters.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of Rodin's Gates of Hell.
Yeah.
Which is famous for the Thinker being, which is only a little small bit on the top, but that's as well all the horrible descent and people doing despicable things to each other, and then the top layer of it being this mid-thermal wave of a nuclear explosion.
Yeah. And
this ongoing buffeting, destruction, erosion, everything's kind of covered in this like veiny web as well.
The first time I saw this and Constantine goes to hell, that was what I thought. I was like, oh cool, hell looks like that moment in a nuclear blast when everything is just getting ripped away by the heat and the shockwave, only it's permanent. It is in a permanent stasis of that stage of a nuclear explosion. And if you watch the special features, that's exactly what they were going for. And I was like, bravo, lads, that's what I took from it straight away.
Stan Winston Studios that did the effects did all the effects for Terminator 2 as well. And you can kind of see they took that idea from Terminator 2 of that nuclear explosion and have just elaborated on it and made it this beautiful real world event, this ongoing event all on its own, where nothing will ever fully collapse.
Yeah.
Even though it's being destroyed, it almost seems to kind of regenerate a little bit
you can see it more in the buildings in the background.
Yeah, there's like little fires going on, and things are getting buffeted, and cars are all worn out, and things are eroding and crumbling, and it's that first shockwave before the actual detonation wipes out everything.
But even the demons in hell look great as well. These like
the
crawler kind
the
of
mindless
things.
droids. As
they've got no brain. They've got no eyes. They've barely even got a nose. They've just got a mouth. They're all skinny and horrible, and I one of the kind of impressions that I got off it is like because they look so skinny and nasty, it's like they're down there to like rip apart the damned.
Yeah, they're like almost like little scavengers, and they're just kill.
Yeah, all they can
consume.
do is rip, kill, and consume. But they're still so skinny, so it's like even the demons, no matter how much of the damned they rip apart and eat, are never satiated either.
Just because they might be denizens of hell.
Just because they work there doesn't mean they like it.
Yeah, just because they're denizens doesn't mean it's good for them.
You don't have to be evil to work here, but it helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think we could literally do an entire podcast on how hell looks in Constantine, because it's so fucking well done.
It is.
And like when you go beneath that freeway and you see this sea of bodies and all the crawlers, and you can't really make anything out, and it's the
moans and the crying and the shrieking.
It is just this sea of the damned
flesh that's being destroyed and mauled, and none of it looks comfortable.
And you can't really make out anything, but at the same time it's all very unsettling.
But I like as well that all hell is generally always like, oh, let's just make it dark and spooky and gloomy. This is quite bright. It's orangey. It actually does look like test footage. Nuclear test footage. It has that orange cast to it, which just tends then to highlight things that you wouldn't normally see. But then when he's back in the real world, everything's very slightly blue tinged and tends to be at night. So the real world is dark and gloomy and scary
and cold, and hell has this warm look to it.
Hell is warm almost. Yeah.
No, I do. The visual choices in this film are fantastic. And I mean, I did see in a lot of the critics' time, they were like, oh, it's a big CGI, it's so CGI heavy, like that was a bad thing.
There's
And I'm
not.
like, it is, well, no, it is definitely CGI heavy, but it all still looks great. Like there were parts, I'd say the worst looking bit in the film is when he uses the Shroud of Moses to blast away the flying demons.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not that it looks bad.
It's a split-second shot, though,
it's a
as
short
well.
shot, and any of the shots that don't look, it's not that they don't look convincing or they look bad. They just don't look particularly realistic.
Yeah.
But
he's just
if you,
vaporizing what's essentially a flock of these weird gimpy flying demons that have no legs.
And I think the reason that one looks
bopping around the place like moths in the fucking out of light bulb.
I think the reason why that one doesn't work quite as well is because it's in the real world setting. In hell, it's all in hell, and it's all in that kind of shot with the filters and the colours, and the demons don't necessarily have to look like realistic as if they're in the real world, but those ones that are flying around nearly should.
It's really only the initial flash sequence that I don't like, but when it cuts
it's
to
not
the
a bad
wide
shot,
and
probably
you
the
can
weakest.
see all the little embery bits floating down. I like that.
I love the preceding bit.
Oh, when
she leaves the apartment and you see it cuts to John and he looks out the window and sees all these wings fluttering past really fast, and the camera follows the wings past all the windows.
Around the corner of the building,
around the side, around his apartment, past all the windows to the door of his apartment, where he's already running out the door.
Yeah, the door closes.
And there's a couple of shots like that, like later on when Gabriel is trying to stab Angela to let Maman out, and Angela gets whipped away and she stabs the ground, and you see the hand stab the ground with the spear, and then it cuts up. It doesn't even look like there's a cut. It just looks like the camera pans back, but you don't see Gabriel cower. You to move to cower. Gabriel's already in the cowering position, so immediately from slams down to cowering. Yeah,
they do move.
And it's like that with that. He's watching and then immediately he's out the door, and it's just so beautifully done.
And he understands what's going on. He's already at that point as well. He's already gone, there's a soldier demon trying to crawl away out with a little girl.
Yeah.
Also that
a bug demon attacked me in the middle of the street.
Yeah, like a full on freaking demon.
Yeah.
They don't come out.
Yeah.
They don't do that. Also that little crab in the deep, that bug, the vermin man. I just love that little crab who's like waving at him a little bit. He's like,
oh yeah, the first crab he sees.
I forgot about the throat punch in the exorcism sequence.
Oh, yeah.
He punches that kid right in the throat. I know he's punching the demon in the face, but like he just jabs that kid in the throat.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not above hitting kids.
Yeah, he does whatever he has to do to get the job done, in fairness. But the boo sequence is another great one.
Oh, where he's trying.
Well, Hennessy's
gotten. Hennessy goes to see Isabel in the morgue. Accidentally touches this mark that you can't see on her arm.
Yeah.
And starts to get the voices and pulls out his own hip flask to drink, and you can't see anything coming out of it, but you can see it run down. You can see it pooling on the floor.
No, he goes to pour it and he can't see anything, and then you hear your man going, "Hey, what are you doing in here?" And he drops it's a shot from underneath the morgue table where he drops the hip flask at the floor, and you can see there's wetness on the floor.
Yeah. Also bonus points for spotting that her toe tag says 616.
Yeah, Isabel's toe tag says 616, which is the actual number of the beast.
It's debated heavily, but it's because the Bible is basically a giant case of Chinese whispers having been translated from multiple languages into multiple other languages and back again.
Okay, well, 616 has equal claim to being the number of the beast as 666. But then when he runs into the off license and starts just
smashing the bottles,
everything.
And you can see the bottles empty, but nothing's coming out of them.
Yeah.
And his desperation
you can see,
get a drink.
Well, it just visually from that scene is done so well, because as you say, when he's holding it, you can see all the
you can see the bottle empty.
The bottle's drained, but nothing's coming out the thing. And then when he puts it back on the shelf or drops them,
there's
liquid starts pouring out. It's so well shot the way they have all just the little subtleties of that scene visually.
Balthazar walking in,
and then
Balthazar walking sequence in, and watching and just looking so smug. And then when he does collapse onto the floor, the clerk is actually a half-breed angel.
You don't see that until later, though.
But he's almost like protecting him while giving his soul solace in his final moments.
When he's on the ground and you can see him.
And he's regurgitating it all.
But he's not vomiting it up.
No, it's just bubbling out of him.
Yeah, because he didn't drink himself to death. He drowned himself in drink. And it would make sense, because if you watch... He's
hyperventilating.
If you watch the way he's trying to pour that liquid into his throat, he thinks nothing is happening. So he's breathing that liquid in. Yeah. He's not drinking it. So that's all in his lungs.
Ooh, aspirating alcohol into your lungs, not a fun way to go.
Yeah, it's just another really well shot scene and a really well thought out scene. The intricacies of it, like that, work.
His devil is his alcoholism, and that the fact that when he touches this mark, that it triggers that in this really extreme...
Well, you can hear all the voices then.
Yeah, but that it immediately goes to his vice. Yeah. And triggers that, and his vice doesn't work, and it is the whole Tantalus. You can have it, but you can't have it. You can
definitely.
see it. You can look, but no touch.
Just out of reach. But just, that I think is one of my favourite scenes in it.
Father Hennessy really touched it. There's something about Hennessy that really, really... He's so tragic and he's so sad, and you just know that if he hadn't met John...
he'd probably be okay.
You just know. And as a big fan of this film, and every time John unclips that necklace, you're just going, no, don't do it, John. Like, nothing good can come from you taking away this man's protection charm.
And well, in fairness, that protection charm doesn't protect anybody in this film.
Nobody, even the people he tries to put it on, doesn't work on them either.
Yeah. I think while we're still on the visual train, one of the other ones I really like is the electric chair sequence. That little set piece is so fun. The
electric chair from Sing Sing?
Yeah, the like... I suppose
that's a big bastard
astral projection, chair. I suppose, is what it's supposed to be.
They call it surfing.
Yeah, when was the last time you surfed?
It's incredibly difficult to smash a light bulb without breaking that filament, and just that real old style filament, and you can see it crackling there and smouldering. And he's drinking the vodka and he pours it on the floor around him. Yeah, and he's like, you want some?
Want some flavour?
And he's like, are you ready? No. Good! And he goes for it. It's not like, I'm just going to tap this. Like,
he jams it into the ground.
It.
Yeah. No, I think one of the things that I really like about that astral projection sequence is, so he basically uses it to track what Mamon's been doing and what his plan is.
Mamon is the son of the devil.
Yes.
Who's trying to break out of hell.
Full spoilers. You've seen this film. You know what's going on. But when John is watching him from the start, you see him once or twice kind of look over his shoulder, and then at the end, when he's in the hospital, he turns around and he grabs John in his astral projection form. Yeah,
so he's aware of him. He's aware that he's being watched.
But that's it. When you see those scenes earlier on in the film and they're not part of the astral projection, you see Mammon looking over his shoulder once or twice, and you assume it's just he's being sketchy and he doesn't want to get caught. But no, he actually knows. He's
at least aware of something.
Something or somebody is watching me, but in the future.
Yes.
Because hell and time screwy. And again, it's just visually, it's a really fun scene, but I like that little aspect of it, of every time Mammon was looking over his shoulder, he was watching out for John, not for any like cop to show up or anything like that.
No, but he's actually watching him.
Is there any other parts that you really loved about this film?
I loved it. Obviously, the end sequence. The main, what would almost be the main like action fight sequence of the piece, when he's going through the hospital.
Oh yeah, with all the half-breeds.
Yeah, the blessing of the water tanks for the sprinkler system to turn that into holy water is fucking genius.
Yeah, it's a nice choice.
And he said that when he walks into the group of demons with the chair and stands up on it and just
I'm John
Constantine, and then like flicks the lighter to set off the sprinkler system.
Yeah.
So that it weakens their outer shell essentially, so you can get to the
the squishy insides,
the gooey tasty center. And then they all go for, and Michelle Monaghan, who had actually had a role in this and then was largely cut out, just goes, holy water. And you get the way she says it, you know that there was a longer conversation coming up to it where she was probably like, holy water, John, really?
Really? Like,
really?
Come on,
that's
John? Predictable, John.
Yeah, but the way she says it is like, holy water?
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking shitting me?
Yeah, it is.
That's a really nice fight sequence with that massive, the holy shotgun with the big barrel. Yeah. That prop is just all the props in this are.
And that must have been an awkward fight scene to choreograph as well.
That's
it's quite a tight space.
That's a really tight space, and there's a lot of people going flying.
There's a lot of wires.
There's
like
a lot
multiple
of
wire works at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. But that's all done in camera. Like all those people do get pulled around the place. That had to be choreographed so meticulously.
Yeah.
But it's worth it because he's like throwing people over his shoulder as they're charging him, because this is a full on get him moment. Whereas they're also all in agony because they're all getting doused in holy water.
Yeah.
So it's a proper melee. It's not a clean looking shot at all. It is. It is a free for all, and there's water flying, and where he's shooting people and they're exploding, as opposed to the ones that he's just like slamming into walls.
I love the fact that every time a demon dies, it's this like weird
pig squeal.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a freaking pig squeal.
Yeah. No, that hospital scene is fun. That would probably, it's probably the big action set piece of the film.
That would be the main kind of fight sequence of the film. It's definitely the biggest one. And it is just him being like, fuck you all! And that's kind of, he knows he's dying, and he's like,
I literally have nothing to lose.
Yeah, if this is my last thing is to stop this fucking Antichrist being born, well, fuck it. Like, he knows he's going into this, probably not going to come out of it, and like, there are no fucks left to give. And it's messy.
Yeah, it is. And speaking of messy, he gets progressively like more worn down and harrowed and haggard looking as the film goes on. Because in fairness, he's dying of cancer.
Yeah, he's got like,
he's only supposed to have a few weeks left.
He's got lung cancer too, and the poor bastard's being made run around the place.
Continuing to smoke and have fights and and go back and forth between hell.
Not getting any chemo.
Yeah, he's fucked.
Yeah, well, I don't think chemo is going to do. Like, if you're going backwards and forwards to hell on the reg, I don't think chemo is going to do much for you.
Yeah. That's a great little scene, is that one. Especially, it's just the cockiness with which he stands up, comes in, he's like, I'm John, you're in violation of the balance, leave now or be deported.
The ego is back
they're all
full action. Like.
It's almost like he knows, if I go in there and say this, they're going to be shocked at my audacity and not attack me straight away, because they'll be like, is this guy serious? Which will allow me the time to set off the sprinklers. And it's just, everything is so well thought out on John's part.
And then, obviously, Peter Stormare.
Okay, but before we absolutely gush over Peter Stormare and Satan, I think maybe, because it's going to be some serious gushing, will we talk about some of the negative things just to balance it out a little bit?
Yeah, this one's been a particularly gushy.
Yeah, there were a couple of times where I feel like this movie treats me like an idiot, and I hate when movies treat me like an idiot. The opening text in particular about the Spear of Destiny, like the first thing that comes up on screen is about what the Spear of Destiny is before you see it wrapped up in the Nazi flag. It's like, even if we didn't know what the Spear of Destiny was,
it's explained.
It's going to get explained later on. Like, come on, stop fucking talking down to us. And there was another one, to the very end of the film.
The voiceover sequence?
The voiceover sequence at the very end of the film, it's not that it's talking down to us, I just really don't like it.
I get a feeling that was maybe a test audience who was like, I don't understand.
No, the other point where I think the movie's really talking down to us is when, at the very end, you realise that Constantine has won over Satan, and Satan goes, the sacrifice. Yeah. As if to explain, that's why John is now going to get to go to heaven, because he's made a sacrifice.
It's like really selfless.
Yeah, we're not that fucking stupid. We've followed everything that's gone up to this point, and we see John getting to go up to heaven, like, just after he's asked for the sister to go to heaven. We're going to cop, God has forgiven him, and... Yeah,
it didn't need the sacrifice, because he's like, no!
This
one's mine!
Yeah, just cut that line out, like, that one, I thought, no, don't talk down to me, that pissed me off.
So every now and again, I get the feeling the test audience is just being like, I don't understand things.
But definitely for that end bit, where I think we said this, in my mind, the film ends after Constantine tells her to run away with the spear and hide it.
Yeah, he just looks out over it and then he lights a cigarette. What he does not do is take out a packet of Nicorette gum and have a little shitty voiceover that says, it took me dying twice to realise that God actually has a plan and does look out for us after all, even if we don't like it. It's like, no, that is not fucking Constantine. Everything else up to this point has been Constantine. Constantine does not stop smoking. And Constantine definitely doesn't learn to love God. I have issues with when God steps in.
Why?
Well, why would he let Gabriel get so far in the plan? like, God only steps in and doesn't have Gabriel's back when Gabriel tries to smite Lucifer.
Because it's too late now. I think with that, it's that...
Was God playing skee-ball?
No, God wasn't playing skee-ball. God was hedging his bets. God was going, I have faith in humans and John to do the right thing and get this done. And like, that's, you know, the whole free will thing, and humans are deserving of my love. And even Gabriel says, you can be worthy of God's love. Like, Gabriel's bullshit reasoning for wanting to do it is, well, what she says to John is, oh, I just want to make you worthy of God's love. And nothing to do with the fact that I'm jealous of you humans at all.
Yeah.
But in line with that, if God views human as worthy of his love, there must be a reason behind it. So he's willing to, like, because Constantine directly asks for God's help and God doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing God's supposed to be like, no, John, no, you've got this. You can take care of this yourself.
Right. No touchy.
Yeah, and just removes his help from Gabriel then because he knows that it's all done now.
Yeah.
And Gabriel was on the wrong side. And that's why I think that's when God steps in then.
Yeah.
To me, anyway.
It just, I have issues with angels doing shit if they're not supposed to have free will.
Well, free will is never mentioned in this,
no,
but that
it's
always
been a
pisses me
point.
off as well. It's like the thing with androids that aren't supposed to feel and do things that can only be emotional responses.
I did not kill him.
Or angels that are jealous of humans for having free will and then make choices. So you can't not have free will and then make a fucking choice.
Unless you're a Grigori.
But at least in this, what Gabriel's jealous of is not their free will. She's jealous of God's unconditional love for them, despite the fact that they can do all these horrible things, whereas she has to do whatever she's told.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't bother me as much in this. Visually, the one thing that I didn't like, well, I mentioned that the wings thing isn't a great shot, but the only thing that I really didn't like visually is after the fight with Bugman when he kicks that last crab and it splats off the camera.
Yeah, it's the only time that you kind of...
It's the only time that anything
the fourth
like...
wall.
Yeah, and it's not like in Doomsday where Saul's head hits the camera and says, ow, and it's obviously...
That's deliberate.
Yeah. Like, it's not supposed to be in movie. It is a fourth wall break.
Yeah.
This is almost like an unintentional... What's not a fourth wall break? It's a suspension of disbelief break. Because immediately when that happens...
Nothing else interacts with the camera.
Yeah, and immediately when that happens, I go, that's a weird choice. Why did the director decide to do that? And I'm not watching the movie anymore. I'm, analysing it. And it is as...
I do think Vermin Man is probably the weakest looking visually of them all.
It's a very frantic scene, so it's...
But he, I think, is the one that does stand out as being recognisably CG.
But it's no Alien 3.
Oh god, no.
And certainly no Mutant Chronicles.
Oh god, no.
And that's
no, but that's what I said, like, of all the visual effects,
Mm.
because the little demons are there, they're realised, they're full. There was animatronics for them, which also helped. And I know that they had a stand-in for Vermin Man and that, but I think it's just the sheer amount of stuff, because he's made up of bugs and snakes and rats and lizards and things like that just trying to organise all of that into something that's recognisably human with humanoid features is always going to look a bit messy.
I think it's anywhere they went full CG in the real world of the movie, they had problems with Bugman and with the demons attacking and the winged demons attacking Angela, because all the other full CG sequences are like the astral projection down in hell, where the whole thing is green screened. So
he just doesn't look like he's fully polished off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whereas they don't need to look super realistic in the scenes where everything is CG, because there's a visual tone that's created. Yeah. But when you're in the real world and there's cars going around and there's you know what I mean?
You were also saying you kind of wish that petrol station had been a Circle K.
Yeah, I just thought it would have been funny.
Just because strange things were afoot at the Circle K.
Yeah, strange things were afoot at the Circle K. It would have been a nice Bill and Ted reference. It wouldn't even have had to have been obvious.
Yeah, you could just have the logo.
That was a missed opportunity.
I actually really like the Got Faith billboard as well.
Yeah, the Got Faith billboard and the Your Time Is Running Out billboard.
Yeah.
A little on the nose.
Those I enjoyed. Some of the other stuff, there wasn't a huge amount I didn't really like. The her taking, how that pendant gets off her neck.
Yeah.
Really annoys me.
Yeah.
Because it's not like if like, you feel a necklace snapping.
Yeah,
But, like, that's a big, heavy one on a big, heavy chain. It's not like it's on a little delicate chain where it can wear through the links or whatever, and he puts it over her head. It's quite long and droopy. It's on around her neck when she gets out of the car, when she's taking the jacket off. So unless it's supposed to be when she takes the jacket off, she grabs it and the clasp is broken, and that's how it comes off.
Yeah, or if it accidentally falls off, it would have hit the ground.
Yeah.
It's too plot convenient.
Yeah.
It's like they were like, right, we need to get this necklace off her. And as a character, she wouldn't, like, she believes John now. She doesn't want to stay in the car. Fair enough. That's because she's a strong, independent woman. You know,
strong woman.
Yeah, she's a strong woman. She wants to make her own choices. She wants to do her own thing, but she believes John. She's not going to actively remove the protection he's given with her just to prove that she can do it on her own. She's not fucking Tulip.
Something like,
so they were like, okay, we can't have her take it off.
A little bit of, say, the light glimmer that you seem to get with Gabriel on occasion.
Like when Gabriel,
this visual distortion. It's almost like a heat shimmer. Even if there had been like a little touch of that to be like, oh, Gabriel had tipped it so it would fall off.
Yeah, and you might not notice it, but you will catch it in subsequent watches, like we did with just before Chaz gets smashed into the ceiling.
There is again that little heat shimmer. And then when he's invoking the protection to bring it in, and you get these shockwaves of this coming out before Gabriel pops out. That
is another really visually nice scene when he's doing the come into the light thing, and his voice goes all distorted. And that's really cool. But yeah,
there's a lot of
that
scene. Where he is pulling them out when he's using the
tattoos.
I think it's the Red King.
Yeah,
it's an alchemist symbol.
Yeah, it's an alchemical symbol, definitely.
When he's kind of flexing and everything's warping, there is a little bit of a nod to the Matrix there when he becomes Neo and he stands up after being shot and he flexes and everything warps a little bit. There is a little touch of that going on too. Of the power that he actually has.
But that pendant going missing, it's just super plot convenient. It was like, we can't think of an adequate reason for her to take it off, so let's just say it fell off while she was taking off her jacket. Yeah. Fucking stupid.
Balthazar actually, in that sequence, when Balthazar gets the holy water in the face, there's one shot where he's lying on the table and the head prosthetic.
It's kind of obviously a prosthetic.
It's obviously a prosthetic now. It's only for a split second, but it's enough to be like, ew, no.
It's just whatever way it's lit, I think.
It looks obvious. It's a bit Toxic Avenger-y.
Mammon's possession of the guy is a bit vague as well.
Yeah.
Because when if you're watching it just from the first time, he picks up the spear of destiny.
They're scavenging around in the ruins of an old church, and he pulls it out from under the floor. Well, he pulls out this big Nazi flag wrapped
around something
out of the floorboards, and then proceeds to go the full Gollum the second he touches it.
Yeah, the second he touches it, he seems to get possessed. And when you're first watching it, you're like, okay, whatever's in the spear has possessed him. But then later on, you find out that Mammon actually needs the spear for him to come into the world.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if he was in the thing that he needs...
The thing.
If he was in that thing that he needs to bring himself into the world, why would the thing... You know what I mean?
Then they point out that the only reason the spear is relevant is because it still contains... It has traces of the blood of Christ on it.
Yeah, so it's like, well, he wasn't possessing that, so...
It's a perversion of the final sacrifice.
Yeah. But if he wasn't possessing the Spear of Destiny, how does he immediately jump into that guy?
He's just been watching it like a hawk.
Has he known where the Spear of Destiny is this whole time and just waiting for a human to find it?
Nudging them? That Gabriel knows where it is? Who's nudging who? But when he gets that spear and he stands up and he is out of there and he's full paranoid and he gets hit by that car.
Yeah.
Oh, that immediate, because it is a full on, you've sat down to watch it, you're shoving popcorn in your face going, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you there was popcorn everywhere in that cinema. A lot of very pissed off people in those first 5 minutes because they've just lost everything.
Yep. Speaking of the paranoia that he seems to emit as soon as he touches the spear, it immediately put me in mind of, in American Dad, the whole Roger's golden poop subplot that runs through it. That was the golden turd. The golden turd that makes everybody kill each other and go super paranoid.
So shiny. It's like, no, don't look into the light.
But yeah, Mammon's possession is just fudgy and doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I like the way they showed Bamon though. He looks like the crawlers
but with a full head.
But he's not quite.
But he's taller and
he's not quite in the hunched over, deformed. He's like really elongated and quite sleek.
Statuesque, I would almost say.
Yeah. He's graceful too compared to them. They're all very scuttly,
and for how horrible he looks, and especially you get some
really is creepy.
You get because they made a full prosthetic of him,
and you get
some really good looks at it in the special features.
I didn't like it
and
at all.
No, I didn't. But there's still something alluring about it.
There's a beautiful. They were showing the concept art, and it's that beautiful pencil drawing of it, and it's very softly drawn, and it is terrifying.
There's almost a horrific beauty to it. I think it's just it's fantastic
compared to them where in the Bible in Hell where they have the beautiful Gustav Doré style wood etchings that show him bursting out of the stomach, and you still get the sense of this very elongated. You know that he's got the real long creepy fingers going on, the salad fingers, and then the elongation of all the limbs. So that, again, even though he's born in hell, grew up in hell, he's still not having a good time of it either, really.
No, and
he's not the atypical royalty, which you would assume would be like robust and healthy and ruddy cheeked. That idea of a well-fed royalty.
But you can still see he commands respect because in that scene.
Well, he has a brain.
But in that scene where he comes to her, all the normal demons are crowded around the pool, but none of them are ready to move. No, they're just sitting there watching.
Yeah, they're waiting on him.
But I'm glad you brought up the Bible in Hell, because it's not so much that I don't like it, but I'm going to be a pedantic son of a bitch about it because
why are they using Corinthians?
Yeah, it's like he says Hell has its own Bible and it paints a different view of Revelations, and I'm like, cool, okay, so I can understand why Hell would want a Bible where they can have their own version of the creation myth, and their own version of like the end myth. But what the fuck does the Bible in Hell have to say about things like Psalms and Corinthians?
Oh, Song of Solomon.
Are they writing letters to the Corinthians in Hell?
Yeah.
Is it all those books? And Psalms, the dirty love songs, the Songs of Solomon.
Songs of Solomon, yeah.
What are the dirty love songs in Hell about? And what's Leviticus in Hell say? What are the rules for Leviticus in Hell? Yeah, thou shalt lie with the beast. Thou shalt lie.
It is probably an ultimate perversion of all the things.
And but for certain things,
you can only eat pig and lobster
Genesis,
and things that crawl things. Things with cloven hooves.
There are certain books in the Bible that you can see. Okay, I can see what the obvious perversion of Exodus would be. I can see what the obvious perversion of Genesis, Leviticus, Revelations, even some of the Gospels.
Well, Exodus would be that bastard Moses and how he got away with ruining our, damn you, Moses!
Well, no,
I
would say it would be that Genesis is God creates everything, but it's actually all rotten. And Exodus is Satan leading the righteous angels out of heaven to set up the kingdom of hell.
Or it's just Enoch.
Or something like that. You know what I mean? But
or what the Book of Enoch or not Nebuchadnezzar, Nicodemus.
Yeah, but what would Numbers in Hell be about? Or what would Psalms or what would any of those other books be about?
Yeah, large sections of the Torah don't work for it. Now, once
you can't just flip them.
Once you get to New Testament and the Gospels, fair enough, because the 4 Gospels, if you've ever actually read them, or read John, it's the best one. And then you've got the letters, which are just preachy bullshit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Then you've got Revelations at the end, which is just thrown in there, even though it's attributed to John. It wasn't written till possibly 200 AD.
Oh, hey, look, the Bible was edited together.
Oh, I know.
We know that. They picked and chose what they wanted to put in it.
Which is so bizarre that they included Revelations anyway.
Yeah, because it's a weird one to include in there, but that's one that you could obviously understand would be in the Bible in Hell. I just thought it was funny. When I thought about the idea in depth, I was like, yeah, that'd be weird. I'd like to read that. Yeah, especially the Songs of Solomon.
Oh, it's probably 120 days in Sodom.
Yeah, it probably is.
The more extreme version.
The Bible in Hell, it cracked me up. And the other thing about it was
the fact that when he's unwrapping the Bible, though, it has that tar residue on it that it just seems to produce.
It's a cool prop. The other thing that cracked me up about it was
Beeman just keeps it in the bowling alley.
Well, when Beeman's reading through it, he's like, okay, so this is whatever Acts 17 in Corinthians is all about Mammon's plan to take over the earth. But it's a step-by-step plan of how he needs to do it. That's not how the Bible works. The Bible doesn't have...
It's the same thing though when he pulls out the Bible to do the exorcism. That's not in the Bible. That's in the Book of Common Prayer.
Yeah. But yeah,
Bible... it's little things like that, but it's because the Bible is so recognisable as what it is. Whereas when you start bringing in things like the Book of Common Prayer and different liturgical materials...
Yeah, or the Book of Enoch, or...
It just gets muddy.
It gets confusing, yeah. I get it, and that's why she has the line
pedantic.
About... I understand that... I know the crucifixion story, even though the spear of Longinus isn't mentioned in it.
Also, it's the wrong type of spear. It's the wrong type of spear.
It is the wrong type of spear. But yeah, the idea that there's instructions for what he needs to do to bring about his reign on earth in the Bible would be like as if they had instructions for how to perform Jesus' miracles. If you'd like to perform water into wine at home, here's what you need. A handy list.
Yeah. No, that was all developed a lot later within the liturgy and councils and the dogma developing around the religion.
Yeah, when they decided what was canon and what wasn't, basically.
Yeah, but then the liturgy of the Roman Catholic Church is immense. That was all developed through practice and absorption of other practices as the Roman Catholic Church spread.
Well, that's just it. It's not even just their own mythology. It's all the other smaller religions that they subsumed and worked into their own so that they could be like...
Triskel, the protection of Triskel, the Triskels, a long time here have been the symbol of the Maiden Mother Crone, the triple-faced goddess.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, so many things.
Which has now become St. Bridget.
So many of the Christian festivals, like...
You just scrape it off. It's just a veneer over everything else.
Oh, yeah. Easter is a spring fertility festival.
That's why it moves. It's on the lunar calendar.
Yeah. Christmas is Saturnalia, which was a Roman festival, which took place at the time and people gave each other gifts.
It's also the
cult of Mithras has an awful lot in common with the story of Jesus. It was what the Christian Church did.
Halloween is our New Year's.
But it was what the Christian Church did, but more importantly, it's what the Christian Church did because that's what the Romans did beforehand.
Yeah,
the Romans didn't
subsumed them and renamed them.
Yeah, they said, that God you worship is basically our God under a different name, so just change the name of the God you worship and you're still doing the right thing. That's what the Christian Church did. They said, you celebrate this holiday on this day. Oh, well, we also have a holiday on that day, but it's about Jesus. So now when all these pagans go out and continue to celebrate their holiday, we can just pretend they're celebrating Jesus.
Yeah. Well, we get it here because the majority of the massive holy sites in this country have an older tomb or an older religious pagan site
beneath them.
Or close by them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was like, you're going to go here anyway? Oh, okay, we're just going to stick a church on it.
Yeah. And we can pretend that you're one of our congregations, which is basically what the Catholic Church still does in Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh, you wrote down nothing on the census? We're going to continue to assume you're Catholic.
Yeah, because we use the baptismal register as our official register.
Yep, basically. So that went off on a bit of a tangent there.
Yes, it did.
So let's bring it back to our favourite part of this film.
Lucifer!
Peter Stormare as Satan. Now, I'm going to make a bold claim here. And I don't care what results
from Lucifer.
He's Satan. He's referred to as Satan as much as he's referred to as Lucifer.
I like to think of him as Lucifer because in my mind Lucifer and Satan are two separate entities.
Yeah, but let's not confuse everybody and go into that.
That's going into a whole load of mad shit there. But they have developed as two separate entities. Lucifer, hell was created as a prison to contain Lucifer.
Yeah.
He's not the prince of it. He's its first prisoner.
Yes.
Whereas in this, he is kind of the ruler of it as well. He's created this his perversion of heaven.
Yeah, but he is, in my view, and I just think full up the best version of the devil or Satan ever on film or TV. I fucking love him. And you know what? Supernatural fandom, come at me. I don't care. I will fight you on this one. Peter Stormare is fucking deadly as Satan.
Yes.
He is he plays it so well. The visuals of him with the
costuming, that
pristinely white suit with the really fancy pocket square, but then he's got these shaved eyebrows and he looks all sweaty underneath the suit.
He's got that sheen going on too. He's got the veins coming in. You can see them, they're quite pronounced. The bare feet then with the tar.
And the fact that he descends.
Yes.
He comes...
just down.
Yeah, you see the drips of tar and then you see the feet coming down and
as
he
well,
lands.
because everything's wet and you can hear it sizzling, and as he walks you can hear the sizzle of his feet.
Yeah.
And
And
the tattoos.
The tattoos that
coming
just...
down his hands and up the back of his neck, which mirror the girl who's possessed, where you can see the infection spreading.
Like, it's this dark influence, and like I said, the suit is this pristine, white, lovely thing. And
it's whiter than my whites have ever been, ever.
It almost... you can nearly see every aspect of Satan in Peter Stormare's like version of it, because you have the seducer with the nice white suit and some of the way he talks in the lulling voice.
Yeah.
But then with the tattoos, you can see this creeping influence coming out from underneath the white suit.
He's sort of like the bad boy. He's like, I may dress up all fancy, but underneath I'm still the beast.
Yeah, he's got elements of the beast, and when he's like sucking his teeth and like at John and stuff, and there's parts then when he's just like mocking him,
when he's whispering his ear, and then he's kind of like, I want to lick. It's a little bit like in Goldmember when he's like, save me for myself, and then he like and then he like licks him on the cheek, like just give me a little taste. Your tears nourish me, give me your sweat. Yeah, he goes a little bit Cartman-y as well.
And he doesn't even take himself seriously, because one of the first things he says,
I just like the way when he sits down and he tucks the leg over and he like rests on his chin, like, hello, John.
And John, one of the first things he says to him when he's like, when Constantine is like, hey, Satan, or whatever he says to him, he's like, I figured you'd come for me. And he says, what has been said earlier is, they say you're the one soul I'd come up here to collect. But he says it in a real mocking voice. Like, that's supposed to be threatening. Satan himself would come to get you. But when Satan says it, he's like, you're the one soul I'd come to get. And he like claps his hands together and like taps his feet off the ground like a little child in glee. Like he's making fun of his own biggest threat. Yeah. And again,
the watch stops. When Constantine puts the watch down. He takes his watch off and puts it down, and then he slits his wrists. And as the blood pools below the watch face, you see the second hand stopping. Yeah. And it's like 4:20 or 4:19. Yeah. And Lucifer appears, and Constantine goes to light a cigarette, and he can't open the Zippo. And he's just like, you cut too deep, you cut the tendons.
Yeah, and when
he picks it up, and he's taunting him with it. Yeah. In that way that you do to like a younger brother or something like that.
And Constantine looks at him as if to say, come on, you're about to drag me to hell to torture me for all time. Would you not just let me have the fucking fag. But yeah, it's just everything about how he plays that, and even how it's framed, because there's a couple of shots from the side of him, and it almost looks like he's green screened in, because it's lit from behind, otherworldly. But then you notice
slightly to the side, so you get the light bending around him.
Yeah, you notice there's lights behind him that are actually highlighting strands of his hair, so he's definitely not been green screened in. But it just adds this real. It's like, I can't quite pick out, is he actually there or is he not there? And I can't praise it highly enough. Everything about how that is done with Satan, from the visuals to how Peter Stormare portrayed him, it's just fucking deadly.
Well, and when he goes, that son of yours is a chip off the old block. Yeah. And he's like,
one does try.
He's like,
one does what one can.
Yeah, it's like, he's been hanging around with Gabriel, and he's like, well, there's no accounting for taste. He's like, well, they're in there right now with the sword. They've got the sword of destiny. Yeah, and he's like, he's in there right now with the sword of destiny. Yeah. The little mocking, and then he's kind of thinking about it, but just the way he moves the head, and it's very reptilian.
Even the way he approaches him from the start as well, because he's like, right, John, I'm here to collect you, but he's like, I didn't think you'd make the same mistake twice, but you haven't, have you? Yeah. So he knows. I just
like the fact that he brings over the chair and puts it down to have the chat with him.
Yeah, he knows when he comes. He's like, okay, John Constantine is dying, and he gets there and he sees that he's slit his own wrists, and he's like, no, hang on, something's up here. He's like, something's up here. You didn't kill yourself on purpose for no fucking reason. What's up? And then he's like, well, your son's next door. And he's like, no, I can still take you. And Gabriel's next door. No, I can still take you. And they're about to do that thing where they're going to get the world instead of you. And he's like, oh, you bastard.
Nope, this is mine.
Oh, you bastard. Okay, hang on. I'm going to go sort this out and I'll be back to you in a second.
But even when he turns around, when he gets up and turns around and just sends the blast wave through that shatters all the glass. Yeah. As he's moving through it, he still doesn't look kind of that bothered. And he pulls Angie away from under the blade.
Oh yeah.
And when he's holding her up, and then in the reflection, you can see
Maman struggling like crazy. Well, what I like about that is it's not... He's not pissed off. It's not like, oh, I'm so angry at my son for doing this or anything like that. He's pissed off because...
The world's his.
Well, and not no, it's I don't think it's that. That's it. It's you stupid little prick of a son. I could have had Constantine, but now I'm gonna have to give him something because he has helped me to stop your stupid. He's not like, oh no, I nearly lost the world. He's like, oh no, I've lost Constantine because of you. It's
kind of the reversal of that bit in John Wick of, do you know whose car that was? You've killed us all. Yeah. This isn't you've killed us all, but this is you've just lost me my best prize.
Yeah. Then when he comes back and he's like, so what do you want? An extension?
You're gonna need something. I know how this works.
Yeah, so obviously Constantine says, no, I don't want an extension. I want the sister to get sent to heaven. And Satan's like, deadly. All right, so off you come. You're coming with me.
I kind of wish when he's dragging him off that he had dragged him by the foot just for the sheer humiliation of it. That he'd just gotten him by like a pant leg and was just like, right, off we go.
Yeah. But then when he kind of sticks on the tiles and Satan can't pull him, would have looked very weird if he was getting dragged by the leg. But even when he's dragging him, I like the way Satan's just kind of whistling like, right, off we go, la 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 la. And then when he finds out, oh no.
But I also like the fact that he's taking him.
Oh yeah, body and all. Body and all, not just your soul. I want everything. Taken. Yeah.
I do enjoy that. It's like, yeah, we're going to really fuck you up. It's not just your soul we're going to shred and put back together day after day. We're going to take you apart piece by piece.
Yeah, and it's the opposite of, I can't remember, there's a character in the Bible who doesn't actually die, who gets ascended to heaven. So he's the son of somebody, I think.
Yeah, he's taken by...
Is it an Isaac or an Isaiah? And
he's in, that kind of...
So beloved by God that God didn't want him to die.
He just took him.
Takes him straight up to heaven.
He's in around the likes of Methuselah and all that get to like 900 years old.
Yeah, but John is the flip of this, so hated by Satan that he doesn't just want his soul. He wants every last bit of him. And then the bitterness when God goes to...
I just like the fact that he's being ascended into heaven and he's flipping Lucifer the bird.
Yeah.
Just like, ha ha ha, fuck you. Also looks that whole shot of him coming up does look a lot like the end of The Matrix too.
True, it does. But, when then Lucifer's like, nope, not having it. He's like, right, well, God...
That's the second time somebody sticks his hand in his chest too.
Yeah, that's right. Papa Midnight ruined his $200 shirt not too long ago by doing that. At least Satan had the decency to rip open the shirt before sticking his hands inside him.
Yeah, and rummaging around in the bits.
But even that's brilliant because Satan doesn't want to give him an extension, but ends up having to give him an extension.
Because he knows he'll fuck up again.
Because he's like, well, I can either lose him now or give him the chance to fuck up again. Yeah. And it's just, that whole scene, as well as Satan being brilliant, is pure John Constantine. Because Constantine has gone into that knowing, okay, at the very least, I can save the world because Satan won't want Mammon to get through with this.
Yeah.
If I'm really, really fucking lucky, I can get Satan to give up Isabel and send her back to heaven. God will see that I've done a good sacrifice.
Yeah.
I think that was Constantine's plan. He didn't necessarily think it would work.
Yeah.
But his plan was to play everybody. Play Satan, play Gabriel, play Mammon, and play God. And he fucking won.
He looks out for number one because he doesn't even really bat an eyelid when Chaz gets Hulk smashed into everything.
He's kind of like, well, it was going to happen sooner or later.
Oh well. That's what you get for trying to use my catchphrase.
Yeah. That is the bit where he's like, no, and he tries to have it. He's like, right, Gabriel, get out here right now. Yeah. I do like then Gabriel's reappearance at the end. Do you want revenge, John? Take it.
No, when he hits her, and it's the shock. And then the pain.
That look of shock and then pain on Tilda Swinton's face is just masterful. It's absolutely masterful.
But yeah, she's human now.
And deservedly so. But yeah, no, I absolutely love Peter Stormare as Satan. It's a brilliant way to finish off the film, I think.
Yeah.
And
I liked the fact that he was human looking as well. Like he wasn't a half breed or anything like that because Mammon is so demonic.
Yeah.
to have the foil to him, like, as his father, be basically a human.
Yeah, basically just an unsettling looking
and like
human.
not even bothering to like give him wings or anything like they'd show him with Gabriel.
Mm.
And he didn't need any of that. It was just this presence.
And the delivery of all his lines is so brilliant. There's a couple of things he said, like when he's like mocking him and the way he laughs, and even the way he says heaven.
Yeah.
Like it's caught in his throat. Peter Stormare, you fucking legend.
Yeah.
You fucking legend. Is there anything else that you would like to bring up? Absolute props to the director and the director of photography for this film.
Yes.
They were an amazing team. It's just so visually stunning.
It is. Props department as well did a great job.
Oh, props department did a great job.
So many things. There were so many things that were like small that you don't see, that you didn't really get to appreciate up close. The knuckle dusters having all that beautiful carving on the inside of them. His lighter having the medal of Saint Benedict on it.
Yeah,
things like that. The holy shotgun. You don't even get to see it get put together, which is a shame because the whole thing comes apart and snaps back together again.
Yeah, it even has an attachment where you can put the dragon's breath on the bottom.
Yeah, with the shock, and it's got the torch on the top.
Beeman's lair with all the jars in the roof.
Yeah. That behind all the bowling alley pin machines.
Yeah, that you just assume is each one of them is something useful that John could use.
Yeah.
The fact that outside the advertising for the bowling alley, one of the L's is out, so it says bow. On
the inside of the bowling alley, the decoration says 666 with the shape of the bowling balls and the lines going off because it's that real old 70s
kind of. Yeah, it's a 666. Obviously, we mentioned the 616 on the tag.
When all the power is going out as it's coming closer to them when they're getting attacked by the winged things, and the last thing to go is the statue of herself.
Yeah.
BVM.
Yep, the statue of Mary.
Things like that. It's lovely little nods to Catholicism.
I like as well when Angie kind of gets her powers back, she's immediately super powerful.
Oh, her running out of that bathroom, nearly splitting herself on the way out.
once she gets over the initial shock of knowing why she always was able to know where to aim and know where the bad guys are, the first thing she does is start moving her fingers like Balthazar. She immediately feels his presence as having been there. Here. And she's like, that's it. She is way more powerful than John from the get-go. Yeah, just the little touches like when she gets taken. And when she can feel it, she's looking around like, I can feel something, and she looks up at him really confused and then gets pulled backwards. Also, that is one hell of a gazelle leap he does over that elevator shaft. Yeah.
That's not a big hole.
But when she actually gets smashed out through the window of the building and the camera's pulling back and back and back from the building, you can hear this very subtle wing flapping. Yeah. But wings of a very big thing flapping. Yeah. So many nice little subtle touches. Before they drop her in the pool. That it is nearly a shame that there are those muddy elements of the plot and that it wasn't a bit stronger, because imagine what reputation this film would have if it had a really good plot and the visuals that it has. There's another bit, and you're not going to like me for this, but that I think does take you out of it. Which is when he walks into the club and... The red? Not the red. I didn't mind the red so much, but the fact that the Tool song that's playing is so loud. Perfect Circle song that's playing is so loud that I always felt that it kind of jarred out because it wasn't background or it wasn't it's too loud for it to be music that's playing in the club. In the club, it's and not it's the like ambient. Only time in the film that they use an actual song. So I get it as well. It kicks in quite loud as he's walking through that, and it's like, okay. You know, it's not like it's just what's playing in the club. Plus the lyrics are a bit on the head because it's dead as dead can be, the doctor tells me, but I just can't believe him, ever the optimistic one. Yeah. And that's then the music starts to fade down. And it is, it's just that bit too loud and that bit too obvious. The red lighting in the club doesn't bother me hugely. It would have been nice if the club, when he's walking through and you can see you've got a half-breed angel there turning water into wine, you've got other people nibbling on each other in the corner because it's a neutral ground so they can actually interact with each other. It's almost as if that red light is almost like some kind of screening or something, because it's only in that entranceway. It's not in the main part of the club. Well, they can't get through unless they know that the thing on the card is a nice little touch. When John comes to storm his way in later and he says bird on a ladder, and your man's like, nope, but it actually is a bird on a ladder, and John's like, I don't have time to argue with you. It just punches him out. But I mean, we're nearly 2 hours into the recording. Honestly, I could keep talking about this film for another 2 hours, but we're gonna have to cap it somewhere, I suppose. Any last thoughts? No,
Really enjoy it. It's really good. Even if you're not into the comic books, it's a really good standalone film.
Yeah, there's nothing that you'll be lost in where you'll be like, huh, what's that all about?
It's a really good supernatural story. It's like, because you've got this whole universe that's there that you're just getting a glimpse into.
Yeah. No, it is. I think it's a really well realised world for the film itself.
Yeah.
It's a nice self-contained story. The characters are all fairly straightforward and their motivations are all fairly straightforward. There's a bit of muddiness in some areas. But it's a really fun film.
Yeah, and with any luck, we might get a sequel because Keanu Reeves has always said he's open to playing it again. And given how much he's matured as an actor, I would actually love to see him play it again. I would like to see him and Peter Stormare come back for like a big final showdown sequence where he's actually about to finally kick the bucket.
But yeah, you could do it like that where
and the whole thing's a battle of wills between the pair of them. I would love that.
But especially in the kind of like what we have now in terms of comic book movies and how much more care and effort they put into like the fan service side of it.
Yeah.
Would definitely make for that being better. You could, like you were saying, you could also have it being an older John Constantine who could have maybe severely fucked something up in the intervening years.
That's when you can bring in the Nurgle storyline.
Exactly, if you wanted to. Yeah, you could be like, so everything that happened after the first film.
He didn't learn.
Even his stupid narration at the end. No, he didn't learn. He went straight back to being old John Constantine.
Didn't listen!
In fact, he probably got Angie killed somehow.
Oh God, yeah.
Maybe he got Angie killed by Nurgle.
Well, he does actually say that he doesn't want Angie to be a ghost following him.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't want to bring her into it. But yeah, maybe he gets Angie killed somehow, and
because she can see shit now.
But yeah, I think a 2022 Constantine could be a sequel could be fucking amazing.
Within that universe, I would.
Love as a sequel to this,
I'd love to see Gabriel Tillerson to come back, but as human Gabriel, who probably has been wheeling around the place.
Even if they don't bring back any of the characters, but just it's the same John Constantine and the events of the first film did happen to him, I think we could get a fucking savage film with the comic book films we're getting nowadays.
Yeah.
But that was that was Constantine, guys. You've probably seen it if you're listening to this. If you haven't seen it,
go watch it. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's always on various streaming services.
Yeah.
But we will be back next week one more time before we go back to The Boys for season 3.
Yeah. So we'd probably be putting on the movies on hold.
Yeah, just on a short hold for probably a month or two while we work our way through season 3 of The Boys. But we've got one more for you guys, and we have a little special treat in store for you next week, but we won't say what it is because we never really tell you what we're doing next week.
No. That's circumstances.
Yeah, why break a trend? We do know what we're doing next week, and we have a little treat in store for you, but you'll have to tune in next week to find out. In the meantime, if you want, you can head back and listen to our previous episodes if you haven't already. As I've said, we have a Boys podcast as well, where we've covered every episode of season 1 and 2 of Amazon's The Boys and their animated spin-off Diabolical. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can find us on Twitter at rantsmono. You can find us on Instagram at monorants_the_boys. Or you can send your own rants to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
We are Science Fiction Remnant.
This is the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
We are the Caribbean Science Fiction Network.
We are Monorants.
We are One Accord Level 2 Podcast.
This is Sci-Fi.